It's time for the Jesse T Show. Good to be back with you here. And we have got hopefully the Shark will be checking in and Terry, the truth teller, will be checking in. But we're going live. I had a terrible phone display blow up on me today, just about an hour and a half ago. You know, the snafu out of Army in World War II, situation normal, all fouled up. Well, that happens sometimes here on the Jesse T Show. So we're going to talk about today a couple of interesting things as we bust out live on YouTube. We have a brand new show that we're putting together. This is just the piece of the show that we're putting together, little pieces here, working some bugs out and stuff on USA Talk Network. And that's going to be taking place here pretty soon here on the Jesse T Show. We've kind of made a deal with the USA Talk Network, and we're going to be expanding into that network as well. So I'm looking forward to that. We're redesigning the Jesse T Show pretty much from the ground up. This is a part of the show that hung over from the original Jesse T Show at the Power of Voices for the last 4 or 5 years. And this is Roundup, Wound Up, kind of looking at the day's events and see what's going on. A couple of guys talking about that, and or somebody to interview, an author, a book writer, or a filmmaker, or a somebody who's in the political spectrum. But this is Roundup, Wound Up, and we're hopefully the Shark will be checking in. He was one of the original Roundup, Wound Up members. And then we hopefully will have Terry the Truth Teller. He's an author, and so we're looking to have him come back. Let me talk a little bit about USA Talk Network. USA Talk Network is a larger network, and it is exciting to be hooked up with them as we redevelop the Jesse T Show and go on a little wider spectrum. Your host, me, Jesse T. We're going to be covering lots of stuff. It'll be a daily show. Not quite sure what time we'll be busting out at, but we'll be busting out at some particular time, and I'll let you know about that. The reason why for a daily show is because we want to build that consistency and rapport with you, our pals out there. You know, at one time, not too long ago, on the Jesse T Show, we had certified Google views of 12 million and over 125,000 fresh, brand new participants on our Facebook page. But things have changed. We basically, excuse me, been off the air for a couple of years now. Back in 2019, as you recall, I got deathly sick. And then, of course, in 2020, this Chinese virus hit us. And so consequently, we kind of have got to rebuild. You know, that's what life is all about, rebuilding. The storm has hit, and we prevailed, but it's time now to start back up. So we're really proud and really excited to be on the USA Talk Network, which will be debuting very soon. And I'll let you know more details about that and the direction of the show. Always the show is an idea of bringing you in to participate with that. We're busting out on YouTube Live right now, and the Facebook Live will be switching it over to there after the show's done. But I wanted to kind of get a one-on-one with you here, waiting for the fellas to check in. Hopefully they will check in, and if they don't, well, we'll catch them next time. But nevertheless, the important thing is that you and I spend some time together to chat a little bit about the kind of cool things that are coming up. Excuse me. Believe it or not, I've slept most of the day today. I don't know why that is. I must have banged out 20 hours of sleep. I went to bed last night about 10:30, and man, I didn't get up till, gee whiz, about 6:15. Really, it's just amazing. I haven't slept like that in a long, long time. Hopefully, it's not going to be like that every day. It's funny though, when your body says it's tired, and it'll knock you down. So you got to listen to your body. That's how you stay healthy. That's how you stay fit. That's how you stay around for a little bit longer than perhaps maybe you would have if you didn't exercise. You know, take your vitamins, say your prayers, drink good water, eat properly, stay away from sugar and flour and milk products and cheese products that have milk in them, and stay away from all bread products and all the good stuff you got to stay away from. You know, but I do indulge in that once in a while. We all do. It's a pretty hard thing not to indulge in it once in a while. We're raised to be sugar maniacs, and well, I'll raise my hand. I'm a sugar maniac. What can I tell you? So that's what we got coming forward on. We're going to be doing more artist interviews, of course. We'll be get back to that because I know that's something that you guys really love. But we're all going to be doing them virtually now. Can't take the chance of getting sick until we know for sure that this stuff is blown over. But unfortunately, I think this is the way of the world in that respect because China has got two more giant viruses that are attacking them. You may not hear about it on the fake news media, but they got the bubonic plague in China in the northeastern territories, a province up there that's really, really are having trouble with. And in the Hunan province next to the Wuhan province, they've got a H1S1 H1N1S2 virus. That's the swine flu. Remember a couple of years ago, it killed like 13,000 people in America. And the Obama administration didn't really do anything about it at that point. They weren't really out in the front on that. They kind of just let it fizzle and burn out through that idea of so many people get it, it's got nowhere to go, and it just kind of discounts itself. That herd kind of immunization idea. So, with that in mind, though, we do have that coming here, and will they be able to stop it? Well, if we have President Trump, they'll be able to stop it because he'll do the lockdown if he's got to do that. More and more companies are coming back to America, and that's a good thing. It really is. It's not a good thing to have our primary sources in China. China is a very warring nation under the Jinping Mao dynasty. Uh, we can just call him Emperor Jinping if you want to. That's the current chairman. They are doing everything they can to become prominent in the world. They should have never been left into having the ability to join the IMF in that respect, the World Monetary Currency Reserve System, but they were allowed to, and they've done everything they can to steal, rob, and cheat, and bend the rules, and just do what they want because they're very arrogant over there, and they're an arrogant nation, really, if you think about it historically. I can go into a lot of historical evidence on this. I've done a lot of research on China going back to 12,000 BCE because I wanted to kind of know our enemy, the beast we're dealing with. And essentially, it just comes down what kind of world do you want to be in? Do you want to be in a Maoist communist world with some tracings of help from the Marxist Soviets communism? Or do you want to be in a capitalist world where we have some liberty and some freedom, and we have a Constitution of the United States of America that provides that for us? I mean, it really is some basic, simple things. That's really what it comes down to, in my opinion. It comes down to nothing more than just that. And I wish that people would understand it's the simplicity of it all. KISS, keep it simple, silly. The simplicity of it all is really the story. China's idea of conquering the world under their ideology, their empire mentality, will not be good for American citizens. If you want to talk about gulags and prisons and jails and torture, if you want to talk about grabbing your family just out of nowhere, if you want to talk about these types of things, then we can talk about China. Well, here's the other issue is that they know that they can't do that because there would be lots of blood loss in the street with patriot Americans. And I'm wondering, though, I wonder just if all these people that are protesting, actually they're looters, rioters, murderers, killers, and thieves, criminals and thugs. I wonder if they and themselves would join the cause to defend their nation. If they didn't, then their whole family structure will be destroyed because China does not like people who have dissent in any way in their bones. They'll wipe out religion, they'll wipe out lots of things. Believe me, believe me. And we can get into that historical significance of China at some point in the future if you want to. That would be making for a good show. But nevertheless, we have to be very cautious here. It's really simple. So the only way that they can take on America is militarily. Well, they can't, but they do have the largest navy now in the world, according to the Pentagon last week. They got about 50 more ships than we have, and they're going to double their nuclear armament in the next 10 years. Now, go figure that. We don't have the type of treaties with them that we do with the Marxist communist Russians. Okay, so they're going to double it, and there's not much that we're going to be able to do about that. They're militarizing every aspect, the islands and the sea, the SCS, which is the South China Sea. They're militarizing all of those areas because they want Taiwan back. They want to take Taiwan back. Back in 1949, Chiang Kai-shek and about 2 to 3 million people split China because he lost the Civil War, and he moved to Taipei, Taiwan, always with the idea of coming back. And China has never released the idea of the fact that they feel that that's their island and they want it back. And more importantly, though, they want to get rid of all the people in Taipei and Taiwan because they are anti CPC, Communist Party of China. They're more the Republic of China, or what their government is today, much more democracy based. They don't want that. So it's going to come down to defending Taiwan and keeping those ship lanes open. And China has really beefed it up. But they say by 2035 that China is, all military experts by 2035 are saying that China will surpass America all the way around because they're dumping lots of money into it and they want to be a world power. The problem that they do have is they don't have any deep ports around the world like we do. We have 80 deep ports and they don't have that. That's why they're trying to move into the backside of the continent of Africa by way of the Indian Ocean and buy up all those countries. And that's one of the things that China does a little differently. They go into these poor nations, they deal with the corrupt politicians, and then they buy up the country and enslave the people. And that's just what they do. They're very good at it. We don't hear much about it, though, do we? No, because the fake news media doesn't want to do that because we have a reason for that. And the fake news media, and I'll just touch it there for a second, are basically controlled by the global elitists, the corporations and banking industry to be mouthpieces to what they want that to be said. Why is that? Well, because we have a power. We have a global elitist power in Asia, and we have a global elitist power in the Western world. And they're constantly playing little games with each other, like chess matters. They're constantly moving chess pieces on chessboard. And you and me, we are just pawns to be given up when we need to be given up. That's a whole nother monologue and conversation, though, that we can talk about. And I have done extensive research for 40 years on that. I tell you, it's pretty amazing. But the fact that China is moving in and trying to find deep ports around the world, that's why they like Venezuela. They want that to be able to Pacific deep port. And they want to now move into Nicaragua and build the Nicaraguan Canal. The reason why the Panama Canal came around is because the Nicaraguan Canal was the more natural canal, but the Nicaraguans, at the time that the Panama Canal was put together, Nicaraguans didn't want the canal coming across their nation, so we moved it down to Panama, which is actually shorter, smaller distance. But the Chinese want to build a Nicaraguan canal that they want to control through the Nicaraguan government. These are some of the things geopolitical that are happening that people don't even know or are aware of. You know, China has the largest canal that they ever built in the history of mankind. It's called the Grand Canal. It connects the Yangtze River with the Yellow River. It's something like almost 3,000 miles long. It's the size, it's as long as to go from Los Angeles to Boston. It is unbelievably long. And they did that by labor, by murder, by torture. We're talking millennia ago. It really, truly is one of the wonders of the world. It's pretty amazing. It allowed the dynasty of the time that was ruling there. There are 13 dynasties, but at the time that it was ruling there, it allowed China to become a nation under one rule much easier because they could traverse the country a lot faster between the two giant rivers. But so there we go. We have a problem with China. That's our biggest issue, and they're going to try to do it economically. And the problem is that Donald Trump played the piece before they could get there. He made that move before they could make the move. And so we've shut them down economically. They truly are hurting economically. Their GDP has gone down. Their stock market, they have to redo their stock market. So the fact that they can participate, but they have been slapped back quite a bit with our tariffs and our companies moving here. And you know something? Our companies should move here because in 1972, it was the great company flight out of America to get cheap slave labor. And the problem with that was Nixon knew all about it, and so did Chairman Mao Zedong. And Kissinger, the little evil rat bastard that Kissinger is. He really is. Kissinger is really one of the world's most evil people. More like along the lines of George Soros, though different, but he's very evil. Very evil. Always has been. Devious. His evil lies in deviousness. So the corporations moved over there for slave labor. And then what happened was they sold out America. They sold out your jobs, ladies and gentlemen. That's that simple since 1972. Our jobs have been sold out in this country, and it took Donald Trump to bring them back. And we need to do that. And if the companies go out of business, too bad. That's why that treaty between Canada and Mexico is so important, because it gives us the ability to control trade in our hemisphere. Thus, we don't need to send companies over to China. If we want maybe less labor costs, we can send them to Mexico, but not slave labor costs like they do there. I mean, they really incarcerate villages and make them work. To this day, if you don't think I'm true, you do some homework. I've done thousands of hours of research and homework on this. Seriously, I have for about 6 months, and it's pretty amazing. But that's our problem. So we can't let them get an economic hold. They can't beat us militarily. We are smarter than them. We will shut them down. We have better weapons. We have better systems. We have better thought. We have better engineers. We have better brain power. We are a mixing pot of the best of the world. We always have been. And that's the power of America, is that we are a mixing. We're a mixing bowl of those in the world that came here for a better life and gave of their all to provide America a safe haven for themselves, their families, and this great country, where China is not. In fact, most countries are not. We are a one of a kind country in the face of God's blue green earth. And that's why we were destined by our forefathers. And we seem to be trying to sway away from that. It's primarily through education. Our young people aren't taught anymore about the civics. They stopped doing civics, and they stopped talking about the greatness and the price that American men and women have had to pay for this great nation. So that's sort of kind of what's happened here on that front. Um, we can't let them do that. Now, can they do it militarily? No. Can they do it economically? No. Can they beat us through space? No. So what do? They create a bioweapon and they kill us that way. Well, that's what they did. That's what they did. And they just wait